In the rolling heartland of Iowa, where rows of corn and soybeans stretch farther than the eye can see, sits Willow Springs, a farming town woven into the gentle rise and fall of the land. Red barns dot the horizon, their paint faded by years of wind and sun. The rhythm here is a slow one, dictated by the seasons, by the song of robins at dawn, and by the distant hum of tractors in the fields. At the edge of Willow Springs stands the Hammond Farm, the largest in the county. Its owner, Martin Hammond, is a fixture in the community, a tall, broad-shouldered man with a weathered face and piercing eyes. Around town, folks say Martin's corn grows higher and his wheat bends richer, but his heart has little room for softness. While his crops bask in Iowa's golden light, Martin himself remains closed off and solitary, more respected for his power than liked for his presence. Behind Martin's prosperity lies a different kind of cultivation, one of shrewd deals and sharp elbows. When the river ran low in summer, Martin secured his field's irrigation first, even if it meant his neighbor's land would wither. When new seeds came from the agricultural board, hardier, guaranteed for a better yield, Martin managed to claim most for himself, using favors and subtle threats. The local bank knew well. Martin's handshake was an iron promise, and debts owed to him were collected without mercy. The townspeople, caught in his shadow, would nod politely at the store or church. But their glances passed over Martin with a chill, and at the county fair, conversation would recede whenever he approached. Martin dismissed such things. Yield was all that mattered. His was a world measured in bushels and bottom lines. Only one person dared question him, and that was Jack, Martin's only son. Jack left for college 2 states away and spent the year in classrooms and libraries, returning each summer with fresh ideas and softer manners. Where Martin's strength was in his fists and his checkbook, Jack's power was quieter, found in listening, in a ready smile, and in the way he remembered everyone's first name at the feed store or the farmer's market. Despite their differences, Jack came home each June and fell into the farm's rituals, feeding cattle at dawn, fixing fences before noon, weighing grain long after sunset. But the land was never just soil or seed to Jack. To him, the farm was part of a wider tapestry, a place of work, community, and care. Jack tutored local teenagers after their chores were done, helped Miss Eunice down the road pick up prescriptions after her hip surgery, and mended the fence at Mr. Patel's orchard after a gang of deer broke through. Neighbors found themselves confiding in Jack, drawn by a kindness so unlike his father's quiet calculation. One warm July evening, as lightning bugs blinked stubbornly in the fields, Jack returned from distributing fresh vegetables to the town's small food bank. He found Martin standing on the porch, watching the distant western sky.
You know, Dad, fields don't just grow crops, they grow character too. If we sow greed, we harvest loneliness.
Martin's eyes narrowed as he stared into the gathering dusk.
Don't you start with those city notions. Farming's simple. What counts is yield. The world respects results, not stories.
Jack didn't argue. His father's mind seemed as immovable as the black Iowa topsoil. Then, late summer brought the storm. It arrived in black clouds and with a wind that sounded almost angry. Hail beat mercilessly on young plants, and torrential rain filled ditches, drowning the roots of beans, corn, and wheat alike. It did not choose favorites. Across Willow Springs, fields went under water, rows flattened or rotted in the ground. Martin's losses were staggering. For the first time in decades, he faced a harvest with little to bring in and creditors waiting. He approached his neighbors, hat in hand, seeking help. Fuel for his machines, seed for a late replanting, even just a small loan to tide him over. But old wounds have long memories, doors closed gently but firmly.
Sorry, Martin.
For years, he had turned their needs aside. Now they did the same. The silent isolation of his porch grew heavier with each passing day. Jack could not bear it. Without bitterness, he visited every house and barn, asking for help, not for Martin the land baron, but for his father who had fallen low. In most places, he met the same quiet refusal. Asked Mr. Johnson, a farmer whose grandfather had tilled the land next to Hammond's for 3 generations. Jack listened, apologized where his father had not, and when he could, he offered help in return, fixing a broken thresher, stacking hay in a barn, bringing groceries to a young mother whose husband was sick. With no one else to rely on, Jack offered his own scholarship money, his ticket to a different life, to pay down his father's debts. The sacrifice did not go unnoticed. Village life is made of little things, and word traveled softly but steadily. In coffee shops and after Sunday prayers, people spoke of Jack's character. His kindness, persistence, and humility began to soften hardened opinions. Some, remembering the times Jack had eased their own burdens, returned. First a bag of seed, then a day spent helping to repair a shattered barn roof.
I thought saving crops meant saving life. But I was wrong, Jack. What we plant in people's hearts returns to us, just like a harvest.
Spring came, as it always does, washing the past year's wounds with new rains. Martin began to change, not with grand gestures, but with quiet consistency. He sat at meetings, and for the first time, voted for fairer water rights. He shared seed stock with those whose fields were still recovering. He even sponsored a modest reading program at the old schoolhouse, inspired by Jack's love for learning. And in Willow Springs, the fields, houses, and hearts alike grew richer. Proof that what we choose to sow shapes not just the land, but the soul of a town. Because when you sow kindness, you reap community. When you offer fairness, you harvest trust. And in the long memory of rural America, as everywhere, what grows from the seed of your choices is the true harvest that endures.